Defining DeFi, Hackathon, Moralis and Google. 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 Define Hackathon, Moralis and Google. Defining define Hackathon, Moralis and Google. Defining define Hackathon, Moralis and Google. Defining define Hackathon, Moralis and Google. 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 Moralis and Google.
Greetings, developers, builders, and hackathon participants. Welcome to another live stream for Defining DeFi, brought to you by Moralis and Google. We have tons of great stuff to go over today. I know people have been asking questions about prizes. We've got information on that. I know people have been asking about support channels. We've got information on that. But before we get into any of that, I want to welcome to the stage here our newest sponsor, XLR. XLR is joining us as another interoperability sponsor. They're a bridge solution. You'll be able to build with them during this hackathon and possibly win one of their bounties. I'm going to welcome to the stage Jake. Jake, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm awesome. Thanks for having me. That song in the beginning of this just gets you ready.
It's catchy, isn't it?
It really is.
So I wanted to give you guys a chance here to introduce yourselves a little bit because you joined us just after our opening ceremony. And I know that some of the people watching right now might be hearing about XLR for the first time. So if we could just go over a little bit about what you guys provide as a solution and, any other things that you want to talk about to get people building with your tech this hackathon.
Sure. So XLR is, at its most fundamental level, a blockchain that connects blockchains, right? So we believe that this is the most secure interoperability infrastructure, as we can see as close as yesterday, right? Another $500 million hack with BNB. I didn't even know that they had two chains, by the way. I was kind of surprised at that whole thing. But essentially, we are secured by the same model, right, which is proof of stake consensus that the blockchain on either side of us are connecting. So right now we are connecting 27 different chains. We're part of the Cosmos ecosystem. So Cosmos SDK, Tendermint consensus. On top of that, you essentially have a translation layer that's encoding and decoding messages, and then a routing layer that's able to route those around. What I think makes this super interesting for application developers is essentially this paradigm shift where traditionally when we think about going multi-chain, right, you have to take your application and you deploy it on, say 7 different blockchains. But as we continue to see more, up and comers like the Sui and the Aptos ecosystem, I think it's becoming very evident that that's not really a scalable model. So the difference with XLR is you don't actually build on top of our blockchain. You just plug into our network via gateway contracts and API calls. And then it allows application developers to essentially build on the blockchain that makes the most sense for their use case, plug XLR in, and then you're able to send messages to and from any chain within our network in the most secure manner, right? And when you can send a message, essentially what that means is you can send any payload, right? So any arbitrary contract call, you can read, write, query. It really opens the doors to what you can do. And it allows an application to have this like total addressable market. That's the entirety of Web3 rather than just the blockchain and the ecosystem that you're building in. So I think the next generation of applications, right, especially when defining DeFi, right, when we think about like the transition that we've seen in the space, you have essentially traditional finance, right, and then you go into DeFi where you're essentially taking all of the logic that human beings used to do, encoding that into programming, and then sticking that on a blockchain. And now what we're seeing is all of these traditional DeFi applications are now moving over into cross-chain DeFi applications, as well as a bunch of kind of interesting new use cases. I'll highlight one to just kind of show the potential here. But there's this entire concept of kind of moving the compute to the asset rather than the asset to the compute. So like now you can do a lending and borrowing protocol where say you have a protocol on Moonbeam, right? And you have your assets on Avalanche. Traditionally, you'd bridge those assets over to Moonbeam. You'd take your loan out. Now what you're able to do is actually just send a message to Avalanche, lock your AVAX over there, and take a loan out on Moonbeam, which is just a much more capital efficient manner. So it's really exciting. I think like it's a no-brainer for anybody that's going to be building a new application today, because it essentially allows you for the first time to really like be the underdog that comes up and can take out any of those big players, because if you have a good UI and you're able to attract the users, there's no reason for them to go anywhere else. If you're doing a lending and borrowing protocol, right, it's like you can give them the best rates across all of Web3. So yeah, I mean, I'm just like generally fired up. I think that it's a really cool concept and will be amazing for builders to come up and build something pretty incredible.
Now, for those of you who are watching right now, if you've never heard of XLR before and you want to take a look at, okay, what is live right now before I even build anything, the page satellite.money is available, and it includes a working GUI for XLR. Now, what you would want to do for this event is introduce your own, GUI elements using XLR in order to qualify for their prize. And but this could be a great way, and I'll even share my screen here really quick just to give you guys a look at what that looks like. So you can see that cross-chain exchange between some of our supported chains is already possible using their current graphical interface. And, this is just a small portion of what Jake is talking about that you'd be able to build in the course of this hackathon using their tech. Jake, did you have anything more to add on that before we get into our support overview today?
I mean, I guess we can bring up so we're still working through the bounties a little bit. I think we're at this point, we're thinking about doing 4 for $2,500. But we are trying to incorporate the Moralis SDK with the XLR SDK, which maybe we'll make a special prize for or do something like that. But I think that, would be super interesting, right? Like the whole purpose of this is just to make it as easy as possible for application developers to go build and kind of enable these one-click user experiences. And like give Web3 the facelift that it needs. I think, a big part of that is making it easier for application developers to build, which is where Moralis comes in, kind of taking the early stage headaches out of the way. And then with XLR, just being able to stack this like multi-hop logic in a payload to enable these one-click experiences, right? When we think about moving assets or moving information from any chain to any chain, like there's curve pools involved, there's bridges involved. Like we don't want users to have to do any of that because like it sucks. And it's just, it's a terrible experience. So I think like from a high level, like that's what we're going for. So if anybody does want to, dig into our docs and the Moralis docs and see if we can combine SDKs. I know that that's something that our teams have been talking about. It looks like it's something on the roadmap for, maybe Q1 of next year. But it would be hugely valuable for us. So we'd definitely be willing to reward that for sure.
Yes, exactly. So what Jake's talking about here is our Web3 UI kit. We have an open source project that we heavily endorse and also build on, some as part of Moralis and some in the spare time of our developers. And what we are envisioning is bringing in XLR as a element of that Web3 UI kit. Because that Web3 UI kit, while it was birthed from us, doesn't belong to just us. It belongs to our community. And this is a great transition because we're about to get into community support in this hackathon and going forward. But before we do, Jake, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a brief overview. I had one more question for you before you go. And if you don't know for sure at this time, I apologize for putting you on the spot. But in terms of prize payment, we're trying to narrow down exactly how our sponsors will be paying out prizes. Do you guys plan to pay in crypto or in fiat, and in what form?
So typically how we do our grants, I guess like one other thing, right? So typically how we do our grants, I guess it's just reminding me of something, but we can either do USDC, or our token actually just launched. So we could also give grants in the XLR token. Another thing, just in terms of builders, right? Like we're setting aside a pool of $10,000 just for these bounty programs, but we also are running an accelerator program / grants program with Long Hash Ventures. So if you build something interesting, you'll also be eligible for up to a $20,000 grant. I think we're going to give out 20 to 30, and I run that program internally. And then 10 projects are going to get $100,000 investment from Long Hash. And we're going to run kind of like a 3-month program, helping bring in thought leaders essentially in the space, leveraging Long Hash's network and XLR's network. And we'll be doing kind of learning sessions, office hours. You'll have access to our entire team, from the devs up to BD, right? So we can get you some of that early traction in terms of making sure that you have product market fit, tokenomics, BD help to get you some of those first partnerships. So we definitely have a large support system. But yeah, just back to your question, I think we can definitely do either USDC or XLR tokens.
Perfect. I just added that to my notes here. And thank you again, Jake. We'll look forward to inviting you guys back for at least a couple of workshops here throughout the rest of the hackathon. Once those are scheduled, I will make those public. We're going to be going over which workshops have already been scheduled here in a little bit. On that note, Jake, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, sir. And we'll look forward to talking with you more as this event goes on.
Awesome. We'll talk later. Thanks for having me.
All right, let me welcome our community engineer lead, Joseph, to the stage here. All right, so let's dive right into it here. We have, as I was saying before, a great list of things to go over. So what's this stream really about here today? Well, this stream here is about Web3 community. It's about developer support, and it's about your long-term journey as a Web3 developer. Not just in this hackathon event, although I know that's very important to us and we want to do as well as we can. The real prize is long-term success for Web3 for us as developers individually, but then also for us as a community as we take this new technology that's both liberating and exciting mainstream. So let's dig right into that. The very first thing I want to talk about is our Moralis DAO Discord channel. The Moralis DAO Discord is the hub for communication for all Moralis hackathons. And I'm going to hand it over to Joseph here a little bit so he can share his screen and show us a little bit about the Moralis DAO Discord. Now, if you're not already a member, while Joseph is getting set here, go to moralis.io/Discord. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat here. Moralis.io/Discord. That link will allow you to join our Discord and get involved not only with this hackathon event, but with everything else that we're doing as well. And we're going to direct you here. Joseph, are you ready for me to share your screen?
Yeah, for sure. Anytime,
All
Phil.
right. Perfect. Here we are. So following that link.
So here you can type to go to the Moralis DAO Discord. Essentially, as Phil said, moralis.io/Discord, and just easy as that. Press enter, and you'll be redirected to our Discord invite if you haven't entered. But I already invite, so you should just like click on it, and then like it will get you to the Discord channel for you to get support from Moralis and also the other sponsors as well later, which we'll explain. And here there's a bunch of stuff, but essentially if you're participating for the Google Hackathon, you can scroll down right here to like one of the most below section right here, which is the Moralis Google Hackathon. You guys can see it, and there's some square symbols right there, and that's where like you can click on general and ask your questions, everything about sponsors or about hackathon in general, anything, you can get it right there. So yeah, I think anything else should I add, Phil?
Well, that brings us to our next point here. So we were talking about partner support. Now, when you're working with Moralis, we are always here to help you. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're always here. We want to know what your questions are, where your pain points are, and we want to help you get through those. However, sometimes when you're building for a hackathon, you're not only working with Moralis, you're working with a partner technology as well. And you may need direct support from the partner. Here's where you can get that. Let's go ahead and click on our announcements channel here. We just posted an announcement with links to all of our partner support channels. Now, these are specifically Telegram and Discord support channels. Depending on the partner, they may favor one or over the other. And I went to each one of our partners and asked them specifically, what is the best place for people in the hackathon to get one-on-one support from your team? And these are those links. So please use these. Now, if you have any additional questions, you can post those in our general chat in Discord, and you can always ask questions in our Discord. But if you're looking for that extra support that's very specific to what you're working with, these links are a great starting point.
Absolutely.
Now, we can see we also have XLRs there, our newest sponsor, joining us today, along with the other ones. Some of these have set up specific hackathon channels within their Discord, so always take a look for that. If there isn't one, message in the general, and somebody should be able to help you right away with whatever it is that you need. Now, moving on from here, I also have been getting a lot of questions from people on our prize breakdowns. So let's get into that a little bit and let's talk about it together, because I want to have full transparency for everybody throughout the course of this event. So as you can see, we have 7 days left to register. Tell everybody, tell your friends, family, there is still time to get involved with this hackathon, but only one more week. So registration closes in 7 days, 8 hours and 40 minutes. Hopefully we can get a lot more registrations in before then, before slots and time fill up. Moving on to the prizes, the prize pool is now at 155,000. And I'm sure that everybody's had a chance to take a look at our prize breakdown at this point. This is where I want to give some additional details. Now, once I have full details from all of our sponsors, I'm going to release a full page breakdown, and I'm going to post that right in the announcements channel, the same spot that we have those partner links. But in the meantime, I'm going to go over as much as I have right now during this live stream. So feel free to watch the replay, pause it where you need to if you need clarity on any of these, and know that if there's something not in here, I will be getting the information, and as soon as I know it, you will know it. All right, so this is my official prize breakdown sheet. This is what I'm using to track our prizes for the hackathon, and I want to share it with you all directly so that you know exactly what I know and that there are no questions or confusion. So that first prize category you see on our hackathon page is that 20,000. Now that is a mixed prize that comes from various different sponsors. It's in various different forms. When we get to prize time, that we will disclose what those prizes are based on who the winners are, and they'll become more apparent exactly how that's getting split up at that time. Just know that this pooled prize is the one that will be less specific to how you're building and more specific to where the sponsors and the leaders in the event want to award, so that we have a chance to award some of the best projects, maybe if they don't fit exactly into what each of the tracks are looking for. That said, let's get into the tracks. So Binance gave us some additional clarity today on how they plan to split up their prize. Traditional finance is the first category, including lending, insurance, banking, and trading. And the breakdown is as follows: $10K to the first prize, $6K to the runner-up, and $4K to the final. The final one there. Sorry, small issues in my sheet, but then that total is $20K for that category. Similar breakdown for sustainability, and that would be dApps that support minorities, help with populations that are at risk, look for a sustainable future, or help provide that in some way, and SOS, or things that help to save persons who are in potential danger. Social and entertainment, again, a similar breakdown: $7.5K, $4.5K, and $3K. Gaming, social interactions, movies, and music. So you can see whether you're looking for entertainment or whether you're looking to build something for the public good. There's a lot of different options here, and this is how BNB Chain will be awarding these prizes. We've been talking with Polygon, still waiting to hear more on their specific breakdown, but I have confirmed their prize of $50K, and that is to match what we had for BNB. More details on that coming very soon. I'm in close communications with our sponsors for that, so hoping to get some exciting breakdown news from them very soon. Also, we'll have details on how they plan to pay the prize at that time. Phantom, this is a reiteration of the breakdown that we received during our opening ceremony. Looks like this. If you want more details on that, take a look at the opening ceremony where we have Phantom introducing these tracks and pathways of development themselves. And so definitely bring up any questions on that in the partner channels or directly to us in the official Moralis Hackathon general channel. Multi-chain also gave a breakdown during the opening ceremony. 1,000 to the top 5 projects using multi-chain. Covalent is also putting up 1,000, paid in USDC. Multi-chains is paid in USDC or USDT, your choice. For the Covalent prize, I'm anticipating that this will be split among the a selection of the top prizes. The last event that we sponsored with Polygon was Moralis Cross Chronos. During Moralis Cross Chronos, they also put up 5,000. That was split between the top 2 best projects using Covalent. More details on that coming in the future. For XLR, we have exactly what we discussed during the start of this stream. 4 prizes, 2,500 per prize, paid in USDC or Axel, which is their utility token, and maybe some more details on how you win a specific prize to do with the Web3 UI kit. If someone is interested in building with both XLR and the Web3 UI kit, which is a Moralis launched open source project, reach out to the community engineers, because we would love to talk with you all about that more. That's an exciting option, and but I know that's going to be a little bit more work because it involves evaluating existing repositories and figuring out how we can create sensible bridge points and integrations in a way that's really useful and helpful to people who are building with both of those tools. Joseph, did you have anything to add on our prize breakdowns here, or any other questions that you've heard from our community relating to this that we can answer live today? I'm also willing to take questions in the chat too. If I have any questions on these prize breakdowns in the chat, feel free to post.
And no, nothing from my side, Phil, for now. So just pretty exciting looking at all the prizes that the participant can win for sure. Looking forward for all the submission that they will give in the future. So
Absolutely. It's a wide prize spread, to be sure. And that's part of why I'm working to have really strong visibility with all of these prizes as much as I possibly can, because I don't want people to be confused about, which chain should I start on. This can help you. If you see that you're looking to build within one of these areas, then perhaps building on that chain is the best way to go. Also, it is possible to build on more chain than one at a time. And if you're doing that, I recommend looking into one of these interoperability solutions so you can provide some degree of utility between both chains. That might be more difficult, but possibly a worthwhile endeavor. I'll leave that up to our developers to decide.
True.
I do have a question in the chat about teams. We're going to get to that here in just a second. We will be talking about teams. And if you're looking for a team, stick with us until the end. If you're watching this on replay, it's not too late. Stick with us.
If we make social
Somebody's asking, is it okay if we make social interaction without a token, or we should make SocialFi for the hackathon? So the question is, do you want to introduce DeFi elements? And I'm defining DeFi loosely. The answer is yes. If you're going to do a social app, introduce some type of tokenomics. Now, the degree to which your tokenomics make sense and have long-term sustainability is a factor. So you don't want to just spray tokens at your community that immediately become worthless, because then there's almost no point to it. You want to be rewarding some type of work that is that makes sense. So if you're doing a social community and you want to issue tokens based on using it, then you might consider setting a threshold of comments or reactions that are required before you start earning, to avoid spam, things like that. But introducing economic elements is important to this hackathon because we are defining DeFi. So make sure that your dApp somehow introduces a DeFi element in it somewhere. That can be in the form of a token distribution, lending, exchange, all sorts of other things. And even cross-chain functions, I would consider DeFi. So consider using one of our cross-chain partners as acceptable use as well of DeFi.
Absolutely, Phil. And tokenomics and creating your own token is definitely like an incentivization system, but it's not really necessary for your dApp to be successful. You can definitely like build a successful DeFi app by basically in many ways, such as like integrating with maybe other existing protocols on top of like existing chains, and creating new DeFi primitives is also like another way. So there's a lot of possibilities essentially to achieve the results.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And the truth is, if you're thinking of something right now that's a bit outside of what I'm describing, don't be afraid. I want people to be bold and ambitious. At Moralis internally, we reward people for taking risks. And I want you to feel the same way in this hackathon. Take risks, think outside the box, and build things that are risky. Because at the end of the day, it's the risks that you take are oftentimes the ones that pay off the most. They won't always, but if you never take those risks, you're never going to get the rewards that are proportionate to the risks that you're taking. Now, that said, I know that a lot of you have gone out on a limb and taken a risk and posted in that looking for a team channel and are eagerly waiting for a response. I want to put this at the forefront of everybody's mind right now. Let me share my screen, and I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of what we're seeing in that looking for a team channel. So let me first and foremost say, if you're planning on building something for this hackathon all by yourself, that is completely fine. There's no requirement to join a team. Joining a team is for two purposes, really. Number one, so that you have other people to bounce ideas off of and to develop your dApp with in order to make it better at the end of the day. The other reason is because you want to learn. If you're brand new, it makes perfect sense that you want to find a team because you want to learn from people who know more than you. I respect and understand that, and I want to help you find a team that is ready for that type of team member. If you are looking for a team and you have not already posted in this looking for a team channel, make sure to do that today. We have 1 week left in registration, and during that time, it is my goal to find everybody a team who wants one. Now, if you've posted here and you're not hearing back from people, send me a DM. I will be working this week to connect people directly with other people that DM me. So when you send me a DM, tell me what your skills are, mention the post that you already placed, and also if you've talked to anybody else already about finding a team. I'm going to be looking to connect people with people that they haven't already talked to, so you guys can have a conversation and find out if it's a good fit. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to you guys to decide, is this team a good fit for me, and is this person a good fit for my team? But we're doing everything that we can to facilitate that, because we want to help you guys out with this, and we know how important it is. The other channel I want to draw to everybody's attention is looking for team members. If you posted in the looking for a team and haven't heard anything back, take a look in this looking for team members. And same for the people looking for team members. Check out this looking for a team. The person you're looking for is probably right here already. But that said, if you're struggling, send me a DM. I want to help you. I'm available in Discord to help. You can also alert me in the general. And as you can see, I'm doing my best to be very active here. I want to be available to you guys at any time during the event. And if you have questions about even something we're not talking about here, we're happy to answer that as well. Any questions in the chat before we wrap up our support kickoff here today? Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm really, really excited to be able to share with you all these different support outlets. And I guess I just want to wrap up by saying that our support for you, and I'm speaking on the behalf of our sponsors too, does not end at the end of this hackathon. We are with you long-term. We want you to develop in Web3 long-term. And we are a group at Moralis and among our partners that believe in a Web3 future. We believe that the future for us in terms of digital ownership, in terms of finance, and in terms of advancing the way that we communicate and distribute information and value as a species is going to be brought forward by Web3. And if you're here with us right now, you are in the very beginning. And that is so exciting. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everybody who's registered already for this hackathon and everybody who's registering right now or will register within this week that remains. And thank you to our sponsors, specifically to Polygon, BNB Chain, Phantom, Covalent, Multi-Chain, XLR, and anybody else who joins before the registration ends. We are still looking for additional sponsors, so it's not too late. If you want to get involved as a sponsor, reach out to me directly, phil@moralis.io. I'll look forward to hearing from everybody soon. I'm in the chat. Reach out to me. Can't wait to talk to all of you guys. Oh, by the way, let's meet in GatherTown after this. Click the link in the description below, and we're also going to post a link to GatherTown in Discord. So hop on into Discord, click that link, and let's have a chat together, talk about some amazing dApps, and get moving on this hackathon. See you guys there soon. Have a great day.
See you guys.